Hello and welcome to my channel. Today we're going to be looking at the case of Jennifer Farber or Jennifer Dulos. So it says on Wikipedia, because I couldn't find her on the Charlie Project, that she was born in 1968. Wow, look how beautiful she was for that age. She's an American woman who went missing went missing May 24th, 2018. Authorities suspect that she was killed in a violent attack at her home in New Canaan, Connecticut. That is horrific. So yeah, maybe we'll call her Jennifer Farber instead of Jennifer Dulos because that upsets me so much. Her husband, Fotis Dulos, and his girlfriend, and I'm not even gonna say her name, were arrested on charges of tampering with evidence and hindering prosecution in connection with Jennifer's disappearance. Later, the two, along with Fotis's attorney, faced additional charges related to Jennifer's murder. Fotis died by suicide in January 2020. Wow, so he killed himself like 6 months later. I guess he couldn't. Either he couldn't live with it or he couldn't live with the fact that people knew what he had done and he thought he wouldn't get caught and get away with it. I don't know why he killed himself, but Jennifer and Fotis were in the midst of both a contentious divorce and child custody proceedings. Police suspect that Fotis had been lying in wait for Jennifer, his wife, and attacked her when she got home after dropping her children off at school. Whoa, that's horrible. Police allege that he and his girlfriend drove to Hartford to dispose of garbage bags containing items with Jennifer's blood on them on the night that Jennifer disappeared. Police further allege that the attorney conspired with Fotis, the husband, and the girlfriend. Wow, that's horrible. Jennifer Farber Dulos, born September 27, 1968, was born in New York City to Gloria Ortenberg and Hillard Farber, a banker and philanthropist, respectively. She has an older sister, Melissa Irene Farber. Jennifer's maternal aunt and uncle, Elizabeth Claiborne and Arthur Ortenberg, founded the fashion company Liz Claiborne. Wow. Jennifer graduated from Brown University in 1990 and later earned a master's degree in writing from New York University Tisch School of the Arts. A stay-at-home mother, Jennifer made her living as a writer for Patch.com and also ran her own blog. So she was devoted to her children and stayed at home. Fotis Dulos, August 6, 1967, August 6, 1967 to January 30th, 2020, was born in Turkey and grew up in Athens, Greece, moving to the U.S. in 1986. He graduated from Brown University in 1989 and later earned an MBA in finance from Columbia Business School. Fotis married Hilary Vanessa Aldama, also a Brown graduate, in Athens in June 2000. The marriage lasted 4 years and they were divorced in 2004. That year, Dulos founded Four Group Inc., a real estate development company specializing in luxury homes based in Connecticut. Dulos started emailing Farber, whom he had also met at Brown, while still with his first wife. They married in Manhattan just over a month after Dulos' divorce. Whoa, on August 28, 2004, and subsequently moved to Farmington, Connecticut. So his marriage was over before the divorce happened. They had 5 children together, including 2 sets of twins, all named after Greek Orthodox saints. 3 sons, Petros, Theodore, and Constantine, and 2 daughters, Christian, I don't know, Christian, and Cleopatra Noella. In a blog post on March 12, 2012, Jennifer alluded to trouble in her marriage. I wish I were a strong person and that confrontation did not both scare and appall me. After the gradual breakdown of her marriage, in which Jennifer claimed Fotis was living an increasingly independent life, she filed for divorce on June 20, 2017. In the same month, she started renting a house in New Canaan, about 70 miles southwest of Farmington, and moved there with her 5 children. In her divorce documents, Jennifer wrote, I know that filing for divorce and filing this motion will enrage him. I know he will retaliate by trying to harm me in some way. Wow. She also stated she believed he was having an affair with his colleague, Michelle, whatever her name is, a native of Venezuela. Jennifer also alleged that Fotis had threatened to kidnap their children if she did not agree to his terms in the divorce settlement, and that he had bought a gun that year. Fotis denied making threats and claimed he had bought the gun legally for home security. Both parents filed numerous motions complaining that the other was disparaging them. Despite Jennifer's request, an emergency order of custody, the couple were given temporary joint custody of their children until the end of the divorce proceedings. When Jennifer again requested an emergency order of custody in early 2018, the judge found that Fotis had broken numerous court orders. In March 2018, Jennifer was awarded sole physical custody of the children, while both parents were to share joint legal custody. Fotis was granted supervised visitation and monitored phone calls. In February 2018, after Jennifer's father's death, Gloria Farber, Jennifer's mother, sued Fotis for unpaid loans. She claimed he owed them $1.7 million loaned to him by his father-in-law, Hilliard Farber. Wow. Wow. That's sad. Jennifer was last seen at around 8 a.m. on May 24, 2018, when she dropped her children off at New Canaan Country School, and then at 8:05 a.m. on a neighbor's security camera returning home. The same day, she missed 2 doctor's appointments that she had scheduled for 11 a.m. and 1 p.m. in New York City. Later that evening, at around 7 p.m., 2 of her friends, including her nanny, Lauren Almeida, reported her missing after they failed to get in contact with her. Family and friends of Jennifer stated that it would be out of character for her to leave home on her own without telling anyone. Almeida, who arrived at the house at 11:30 a.m. that day, later told detectives she was surprised to see Jennifer's Range Rover in the garage because she had planned to take it to her doctor's appointments instead of her Chevy Suburban, which was missing. When detectives searched the house, they found blood spatter on the floor, door, and a wall in the garage. So they got her in the garage when she got out. Oh, wow. As well as on the exterior of the Range Rover. Blood was also found in the kitchen. Oh, wow. DNA tests revealed most of the blood to be Jennifer's apart from blood on the kitchen faucet, a mixture of belonging to both her and her husband Fotis. Police also found other evidence of Jennifer being the victim of a serious assault. Wow. Jennifer's Chevy Suburban had been captured on the neighbor's security camera leaving her home at around 10:25 that morning. Fotis was believed to be the one driving the victim's vehicle, carrying the body of Jennifer and other items associated with the probable cleanup. That same evening at around 7:30, Fotis and his girlfriend were captured on video dumping garbage bags in 30 bins in Hartford. The trash bags were found to contain various pieces of blooded clothing, as well as blood-stained cleaning items. The blood was determined to be that of Jennifer Fotis. DNA was found on the inside of a glove in one of the trash bags and on one of the trash bags. The Suburban was later found at the side of the road near Waveney Park in New Canaan, just over 3 miles away from her home. At the time Jennifer went missing, she and her husband were estranged and still engaged in tumultuous divorce. They were also involved in the ongoing contentious child custody proceedings. Police searched numerous properties in and around Farmington in Fairfield County and near Fotis' home without success. Investigators believed he arrived by bike to Jennifer's home due to tire marks found and other evidence. Fotis is believed to have been lying in wait for his estranged wife to return home and killed her in the garage when she returned home from dropping their kids at school. Helicopters were used to look for signs of Jennifer, as well as canine units and divers. There has been no activity on her credit cards and no calls made from her cell phone as of May 24th. As of January 19, 2021, the Connecticut State Police visited property on Mountain Spring Road in Farmington, which was once owned by the Fotis Real Estate Company. To follow up on old leads, several authorities could be seen behind the property digging up the yard. Police also brought in Bob Perry, a national renowned expert at finding unmarked grave sites, though he would not say what, if anything, had been discovered. The next day, police returned to the Mountain Spring property with an excavator and a septic tank. Police briefly spoke with the media, but said they did not have any updates. On June 1, 2019, Fotis and his girlfriend were arrested at a hotel in Avon, Connecticut. I don't know if it's pronounced Avon or Avon, Connecticut, and charged with tampering with evidence and hindering prosecution. Not enough evidence existed at that time to warrant more serious charges. I think there was plenty of evidence. They've convicted people with no body before. They've got, to me, plenty of evidence that a jury would convict him. The Dulos' 5 children, then aged between 8 and 13, moved to New York City to live with Jennifer's mother, to whom a judge granted temporary custody. I mean, if you were on a jury, what do you think? Would you convict them on that kind of evidence? Don't you think you would? I would. Fotis hired attorney Norm Pattis to represent him. In an interview prior to being hired by Fotis, Pattis had appeared convinced that Jennifer was dead. Dulos and his girlfriend both pleaded not guilty to the charges. They were again arrested for tampering with evidence and again pleaded not guilty in September 2019. Fotis appeared in court on October 4th to seek a dismissal of the charges against him. The judge said he would review arguments by the defense and prosecution. In late October, it was reported that his girlfriend, along with her 10-year-old daughter, had moved out of Fotis' $5 million home in Farmington. On January 7, 2020, Fotis was arrested at his home by the Connecticut State Police and charged with capital murder, and kidnapping in relation to Jennifer's disappearance. His girlfriend was also arrested and charged with conspiracy to commit murder. Fotis' friend and former attorney, Kent Douglas Mawhinney, often misreported as Mawhinney, was also, I don't know if I'm chopping up his name too, detained on January 7th and charged with conspiracy to commit murder. Despite these arrests, Jennifer's body is yet to be found. Mawhinney became estranged from his wife after being accused of spousal rape. Whoa. His wife went to South Windsor police and told authorities that she feared Fotis and Mawhinney were working together to kill her. Wow. After Jennifer's disappearance, a shallow grave was discovered at a secluded property that Mawhinney owned, filled with 2 bags of lime and a blue tarp. Authorities and a sniffer dog discovered the grave in August 2019, but no body was found in the grave, and said items were found to have been removed. Oh, yeah, I bet. Jennifer's family issued a statement after the arrest. Although we are relieved that the wait for these charges is over, for us there is no sense of closure. Nothing can bring Jennifer back. That's the thing. You just want them back. We miss her every day and will forever mourn her loss. That's the thing. You lose a loved one and it doesn't feel like there's any justice or anything, because all you want is your loved one back and not to be gone anymore. So on January 8th, Fotis' bond was set at $6 million. He was released the following day and was due to return to court February 28, 2020. In a statement issued in May 2020, the girlfriend said it was a mistake to have trusted Fotis, but maintained that she did not know what happened to Jennifer or her whereabouts. The girlfriend, out on bail, was next scheduled to appear in court August 6, 2020, to face charges. Mawini, the attorney guy, was being held in lieu of $2 million bond, but the bond was reduced to $246,000, and he was released August 19, 2020. While out on bail, Dulos failed to appear in court January 28, 2020 for an emergency bond hearing. He was found in an unresponsive state by police at his home in Farmington, having poisoned himself with carbon monoxide by running a vacuum cleaner hose from the exhaust pipe of his SUV into the interior of the car while it was parked in his garage. Initially, it was reported by some news outlets that Foto had been found dead, but responders had performed CPR and restored a faint pulse. They then transported him by ambulance to a medical center in Farmington, and from there he was airlifted. And so Foto's 5 children visited him at the medical center before he was taken off life support. This marked the first time they had seen their father since he was accused of murdering their mother. Fotis was pronounced dead on January 30th, 2020. He was 52 years old. He had left a suicide note in his car that read, "I refuse to spend even an hour more in jail for something I had nothing to do with." What? What? In the police report, it states that Fotis' new girlfriend, Anna Curry, was at the home the morning of his suicide. They had planned to drive to the courthouse in Stanford together, but Fotis said they should drive separately. On the way to the courthouse, Curry received a call from Pattis asking where his client was. She told him that they were driving separately, but the lawyer informed her that Fotis' GPS tracking showed that he was still at home. I wonder if he killed himself or if somebody else killed him and made it look like a suicide. I don't know, that's weird. Anyway, at which point Curry realized that he must have done something to harm himself and asked Pattis to call 911. Wow, that's so sad. The documentary Vanished in New Canaan, an ID mystery, which premiered on Investigation Discovery on June 1st, 2020, attempts to piece together the facts of Jennifer's disappearance. The documentary gives an insight into how Jennifer and her estranged husband met at Brown University and started a family. A group of experts and witnesses dissect the events of the case. So if you want to know more about what happened, you can watch that. The case received the Lifetime Film treatment for a movie entitled Gone Mom, the Jennifer Dulos story, as part of its ripped from the headlines features film, which stars Annabeth Gish as Jennifer Dulos and Warren Christie as Fotis Dulos. And forgive me if I'm chopping up these names, but in May 2021, a domestic violence bill, so-called Jennifer's Law, received near unanimous support in the Connecticut State Senate. The proposed law is named after 2 victims of domestic violence in Connecticut, both named Jennifer. In 2018, Jennifer Dulos disappeared in New Canaan, Connecticut. Her estranged husband, Fotis, was charged, among others, with her murder. In January 2020, Fotis Dulos committed suicide. In 2007, Jennifer Magnano was murdered, and that might not be pronounced correctly either, was murdered by her husband, Scott, in Terryville, Connecticut. Scott committed suicide immediately after murdering his wife, so Jennifer, in front of their 3 children. On June 28, 2021, Governor Ned Lamont signed the bill into law, so I guess maybe it's common to kill yourself after you kill your spouse. I don't know. There's the references. And you can donate money to Wikipedia because they have a lot of good information. And I couldn't find this on the Charlie Project. It might be there. I just couldn't find it. So, because I Googled it trying to find it, and I just didn't see it. But she was so beautiful. Wow, and that is just so horrific. You just never know. Anyway, please feel free to leave comments if you have information or if you know anything. Wow, that's so sad. What are your thoughts on this? And also, please pray for their families and their children, of everyone involved. And thank you so much for tuning in to my channel. Have a great day. Bye-bye.